This is the John Hallett Podcast, powered by ClearSky Training. If you're training with us in Castle Rock, Colorado, this is the thinking behind what we do at Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness. Let's get into this. What's the difference between sport fighting and real-world violence? You know, most people don't know how to evaluate a self-defense program, a martial arts program. They look at the price, they look at the schedule, or how intense it looks. I always say, the pictures matter, in there, you never know. But they really ask what problem the training is actually solving. That's a really big thing. Many people assume that if they can spar or compete, they're prepared for real violence. They assume it's reckless. It's incomplete. Sport fighting builds valuable skills. Right? Real world violence requires something different: judgment, restraint, and legal awareness. It's so huge, right? Sport fighting leaves that out big time. Confusing the two creates false confidence. And, right away, I have the utmost respect for sport fighting because it creates confidence is a big thing. But as we get into this, is it creating a false confidence out in the street and setting you up for failure? Yeah. Right. Sport fighting is mutual. It's rule-based. Real violence is often unexpected, right? I mean, back to the schoolyard. I'll meet you out in the back of the schoolyard after school. It's one-sided and it comes with serious legal consequences. I mean, we can't go over that enough. Sport fighting can get you in some big trouble out on the street because how you train is how you fight.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me tell you, sport fighting is great. I love it. I love to just spar. It's fun. It was designed, all right, in a very structured way, right? We're showing up at the gym. It's agreed participation. Your opponent, especially in a ring fight, you're preparing for that person. There's weight classes in most cases. Back in the old days, there were a lot less weight classes early on, which was great. But, as things evolved in different sport, it's weight class, time limits and rounds. There's a referee in there.
I wish there was one in real life. I really do.
When I'm beating you up, where's the ref?
No, you can handle everybody else.
Right. There's safety protocols, clear start and stop points. Sport fighting is going to build great conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
Good timing. You've got to have timing to connect a punch, go for a takedown, right? And distance management, when somebody's getting close, how that fight changes. Great stuff for street fighting as well. Technical precision, you're getting competitive composure, right? That's a lot of pressure being there. I think that's one of the best aspects of it, in my opinion, right? Yeah. And you're getting somebody pressuring you. There's real value in all that stuff, but it assumes consent and structure. It's a huge thing,
right? That always makes me wonder. I've asked you this question before. What are the really big differences between sport fighting and real world violence? You covered them earlier, but just lay it on me. What is it?
Sport fighting is mutual, right? It's rule-based. Real violence is often unexpected, one-sided, and comes with serious legal consequences, right? That sport is, structured. Even the very first UFC, they, was billed as no rules, but I believe, was there 3 rules or just 2?
No eye gouging.
No eye gouging.
No small joint manipulation, so fingers.
I think that might have been later. Really? There was no groin kicks. Because I know a kickboxer wanted groin kicks. And if somebody said to me yesterday in slow touch sparring, they're like, man, that groin kick. I'm like, yes. Somebody starts to get, the closer they get, and depending on your height and all that stuff, a groin kick is really, really hard to defend.
Oh yeah.
It's a great tool in self-defense, where in sport they took it out. And I'm all, put it in the UFC.
Why not? I mean, it's not a guaranteed knockout, but boy, does it make a person think.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my God.
There's a lot to it. It hurts. As I say, it hurts everybody.
Yeah.
What real world violence actually looks like, right? often an ambush,
Ugh.
right?
Yeah.
Often multiple attackers, right? It's over 50% of the time, right? There's going to be 2 attackers.
Jeez.
Right? Nobody's coming in, no mutual respect, no glove touch, no bow, right? There's no weight classes, no referee. The law enforcement is minutes away in most cases.
Yeah.
By, the average response time.
If you have a chance to call them. Right.
Yeah. If somebody's there.
Right.
There's no rounds, right? You've got the environment, parking lots, curbs, stairwells, vehicles. This is a big one. Bystanders. They can get in, but here's one is really hard to do. You might be surrounded by your family, screaming kids, panicking that they're afraid, this fear of seeing you in a fight. Possible weapons and legal consequences after the fact. In sport, you're agreed to be there. In real world violence, your goal is to leave, right? Get out
and
get out.
Safe, right? I don't get to watch a video of my opponent. Right? I wish I could, but I don't. Like it just hits you.
Boom, you weren't ready for it at all.
I mean, with all that said, though, do you think MMA or boxing prepares you for self-defense, even though it is a sport?
MMA and boxing build physical skill and toughness, but self-defense requires judgment, avoidance, legal awareness, in addition to your physical ability. They're great things, but those last couple, right? Judgments, like when to stop, when are you using excessive force,
right?
And with video, that becomes more and more important, guys. Avoidance, right? You're getting in the ring. They're trained how you train. Like we're in the ring, we're in a fight. I'm going to end the fight. But self-defense is like, should I get out? Right? I'm not going to go in for the finish. Right? It's now, do you have reasonable time to get away?
Sure.
Right? So they're big. It's, it's a big thing. People that's why we wanted to do this podcast series.
Sure.
That people sometimes bash self-defense, and it's mainly because they don't have, all right, the context of what it's real. They just don't get it. I'm sorry, like they're a bit ignorant on what self-defense actually is and mixing up the two because they're very easy to mix up
and feel fundamentally very different too. I mean, they're both combat skills. But one is, well, we'll talk about it in a second here.
Yeah, I mean, let's just break it down. Right, number one, right, mutual versus non-mutual. Sport equals 2 willing participants. Violence, often one person imposing force, and as the data shows, oftentimes 2 attackers. Rules and no rules. Sport equals boundaries and enforcement. Violence is unpredictability. Right?
You don't get the luxury of the bell.
Performance versus survival decisions. Sports equals expression of skill. Love it. Violence equals protection, escape, and restraint. And number 4, outcome. Sport equals win or loss. Violence equals safety, injury, arrest, civil liability. Reinforce this to your students if you're teaching self-defense. I mean, that civil liability is giant
and real.
and real. Yeah, people get their butt kicked and they didn't win on the street. Now, I mean, how many times do you see criminals now sue law enforcement because they got their butt kicked in there, right? Self-defense is about going home safe, physically and legally.
That's a lot more sense. I think where we really shine is we incorporate the and legally. We're not lawyers, but man, we try to think about
engage the brain
and just get it to work in those scenarios because we apply that, and then afterwards we do a little breakdown. We're like, hey, how did that work? So check a class if that's kind of stuff starting to hit with you.
Yep. Yeah. It reminds me, I haven't done any of our little tickers on here. In there, we've got some great promos going on, or just join us for a week.
We've got great t-shirts.
We've
got classes. Join us for our that free 1 month. It changes your life when you do the classes, King.
Yeah, you got to get in there and
You
train.
do. It does. So can sport fighting cause false confidence in real life situations? Like if I'm kickboxing and I think, let me say like exercising kickboxing, is that can translate the same way?
Well, when you're saying cardio kickboxing essentially, but we're talking, even regular real kickboxing, the sport, where you're going to get kicked and you're not going to just show up and hit a bag. Yeah, absolutely. If skill is impaired with awareness and restraint, it can give people false confidence without context, just like we just talked about. Context. All right. And that's very dangerous. Training in a controlled environment, can create a belief that physical ability is the primary solution. In real world situations, restraint, decision making, and legality matter more than dominance. That's very important things. And, that's a whole nother thing of like people doing cardio, whatever it is.
Sure.
And they're doing a cardio workout. I mean, we've had that problem at RMSDF. Like years ago, we had I forget even what I called it. But it was still billed. We might've called it cardio Krav Maga. I don't even know what we called it. Krav Maga workout class. I might have called it, Krav Maga workout.
Right.
And it was a Krav Maga workout. And we had members like, yeah. I'm like, well, hold on a second. You actually need to come to a class.
Yeah. Like
you are not learning Krav Maga. You are learning like cardio Krav Maga, to put it, you're learning Tai Bo.
Yeah.
Right? You're just doing a workout class. You are not learning self-defense. It's right there. They feel because they're doing something that's named something that they're doing it.
And you obviously self-reflected on it because you're like, man, that's just not doing them a service unless they're doing the training.
Well, I mean, I think it's a great workout. I didn't.
Yeah. Well, it's a great
workout. I love
workout.
the class. It's just you have to educate people when they're coming in and as they progress that they're doing a workout class. It's nothing wrong with a workout class.
Sure.
You need conditioning because tanking in the street is no good for you.
So why is judgment more important than technique in self-defense?
Technique matters, but judgment determines when and whether it should be used, right?
And whether, I see what you're saying.
In civilian self-defense, right? And that can be, confused from our LEO or ex-military, right? Knowing when not to act is often more important than knowing how to strike, right? The legal and moral consequences of poor decisions can outweigh the physical encounter itself. I mean, how much time a lawyer is going to cost you to represent you when, things go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were out of context and you were just thinking fight. There's somebody in front of me and they look like they want to fight. I should be getting away.
We train decision makers. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Make choices.
Right. Sport fighting does really, really help, balanced perspectives, right? Sport training builds toughness, movement under pressure, timing, conditioning. Oh, here's a biggie: impact tolerance.
Yeah.
Right. If you cannot take a hit, man, right. And that can be the problem with, a lot of systems. And I tell people you're not doing Krav Maga until you do some sparring, because that contact is huge. If you cannot take impact, right, you are going to crumble. You're going to cry in the street. Right. But sport fighting doesn't automatically teach avoidance, de-escalation, right? Boundary settings, legal proportionality, and when not to engage.
Right. It's a sport, right? I mean, there's a rule. Go in there, beat them up. We agree. And outside of that, it's totally different.
Yeah. Sport builds skill. Love it. All right. Self-defense builds judgment, right? Constantly saying, especially in our kids program, really in our kids program a ton, right? Strong mind. We want to be a smart fighter, right? The mind is your most powerful weapon and you've got to use it, right? It's tough stuff here to really sift through and what you're really looking for as a student, of whatever system that you're trying to go into. What are your goals? Because you can go in and get caught up in a gym that, you know, it seems like I'm learning self-defense, but are you really getting into what we've been talking about here today? You know,
Yeah, and especially with that fight frame of mind, like somebody that comes after you, you're wondering, can I do this? Can I win this?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, that's, you know, instead of asking yourself, can I win this? Ask, can I leave safely? Do I understand when not to act? Does my training address legal consequences? That's a big one.
That's huge. Yeah.
Am I training to compete or to protect?
Big difference there. Yeah.
If you want to go deeper on real world self-defense, decision-making under stress, and responsible firearms training, everything we teach lives at ClearSky.training. ClearSky is where we break down the thinking behind self-defense, awareness, avoidance, judgment, legality, and decisive action when violence can't be avoided. If you're in Castle Rock, Colorado, and want hands-on training, that philosophy is put into practice at Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness. Thanks for listening to the John Hallett Podcast. Train more, suck less.